Communications and Information Minister S. Iswaran says governments must have the political will to create a strong digital infrastructure to support cross-boundary data flows, as this allows investors to tap into new opportunities, particularly in the ASEAN region. He said this while addressing business leaders at an event organized by the American Chamber of Commerce in Singapore. Deborah Wong reports.
Cross-boundary data flows, the transfer of information between servers across country borders, allows governments to take partnerships further, especially in a world where populist sentiments are threatening globalization. Communications and Information Minister S. Iswaran said this in his speech, but during a separate dialogue session later, Mr. Iswaran also acknowledged that data localization in many countries could be a barrier where security and confidentiality are concerned. He said leaders must have the political will to negotiate partnerships and build trust, just as how Singapore is in talks with New Zealand and Chile to set up a digital economic partnership.
This is where work on standards on mutual recognition. So in APEC we have a CBPR initiative which several countries including Singapore have subscribed to. I think we need these and other kinds of initiatives to build confidence. The key commodity is trust, because you're dealing in a new realm, a digital realm.
People only want to use technology that they trust, and the other key takeaway for me was really unlocking the value of data, and that really ensuring data can flow across borders in a safe and secure manner. That's how we can do better data analytics, better sharing, develop better, more innovative apps for citizens.
Mr. Payne believes that once ASEAN can set this in place, there would be immense opportunities for U.S. businesses. But to do that, Mr. Iswaran said the public and private sectors need to ensure that the data collected is protected and used legitimately. Singapore's sandbox approach is one method which allows regulators to identify necessary parameters while giving industries the space to innovate.
We try to create kind of a small model where you can try and experiment before we allow it to become a systemic innovation, which gives regulators a lot more comfort and a willingness to experiment, because then they know that the risks are contained.
Mr. Iswaran added that such dialogues are essential, as the business perspective is central to economic policies, and that is how the region can gear up for the future.
And for more on this, we're joined by Dwight Hutchins, Board Chairman, American Chamber of Commerce. Dwight, thank you very much for coming in. So Minister Iswaran has said that, we have to encourage B2B cooperation, so business-to-business cooperation, to overcome trade challenges. Tell us, how will this work?
Yeah, absolutely. So business is done when business does business. And so having American companies in particular work with Singaporean companies and companies around the region, that gets past the noise that's out there, because there's real opportunity. And the minister said it. ASEAN is a huge market opportunity. The demographic factors, everything points to this being an attractive place to be. And we've got to figure out how to do that regardless of what the noise is outside.
Okay, so how then is AmCham going to figure out to do that, and what's your role in this B2B cooperation?
Well, we are a B2B organization. We have over 700 corporate members. We have 5,000 individuals from those corporations, and they represent a small piece of the 4,000 American businesses that employ over 200,000 people in Singapore. And so those companies and those people come together in places like AmCham, at events like today's Ballister Series, to discuss and exchange ideas. Again, I made the joke that because the minister was there, he was able to convene HP Inc. with HP Enterprise, sitting side by side.
Okay, where do you see opportunities for Singapore and U.S. firms to work together on digitalization opportunities in the region?
I think it's a fantastic opportunity, because American companies have large platforms that are global, that aren't as nimble and focused on the complexities of ASEAN. Meanwhile, Singapore is a great headquarters to be able to become experts at ASEAN.
So on the regional level then, we know that ICT cooperation between ASEAN and the U.S. under the ASEAN-US ICT work plan is showing lots of progress. What are some of the most significant areas of progress then?
Well, a couple of memorandums have been signed that are pretty big. I mean, so Vice President came and signed Smart Cities. Another memorandum was signed on cybersecurity. And again, as you heard, trust is critical. And a big part of trust is knowing that my data is safe. So cooperating on cybersecurity and working with the Singapore government to advance cybersecurity in the region is really, really critical.
All right, so can you share some developments and progress in the information and technology areas between the U.S. and Singapore then?
So again, on the smart cities, a number of delegations, business delegations have come, as well as government delegations have come to Singapore to both learn from you around smart cities, as well as to share some of our technologies.
And where do you see room for further cooperation? In which areas do you wish to see more cooperation?
Well, what's interesting is, again, we have 200,000 employees, and, our view is that success is 400,000 employees. And how does that happen? That happens when we are part of Singapore's success and being a part of Singapore's business agenda. And I think that today's event is a great example of how we're establishing those linkages and understanding what that agenda is so that we can help support it.
Right, looking forward to it, but thank you so much for coming in and speaking to us. I've been speaking with Dwight Hutchins, the board chairman of the American Chamber of Commerce.
Okay, fantastic.